Do you remember, there's always, when the team's doing really well, everyone tries to find a way to pull that team down. Last season, there was this great run where we just won every week. And every game we won, people would say, oh, yeah, that team aren't very good, it doesn't count. We beat Bayer Leverkusen, and, they're no good. Yeah. We beat Real Madrid, they're rubbish. Beat Man City, they're nowhere near as good. I've seen this on Twitter, on social media this morning, last few days. Added time has now become a thing. People have worked out how much added time gets added on when Liverpool are not winning a game, and then how much added time was added on yesterday, on the game against Everton on Saturday, which wasn't a lot granted. But I think, boys, when people are trying to have a go at you for the amount of added time added on games of football, you know people are really clutching at straws to try and bring your football team down.
I saw this and I was just laughing. I was thinking, this is just pathetic.
Yeah.
They go back to the Newcastle game when there's, I think, 10 minutes maybe added on. But what people are forgetting, the ball was in play for 40 minutes.
In that Newcastle game?
In the Newcastle game. That was the lowest of until we don't know, like years. So for 40 minutes, that ball's only in play. That means something's either stoppage, it's out, there's substitution, there's VARs looking at the reason why it's not. That's why in games there's times added on. Not because it's Liverpool. It's because
I'm aware of that.
It's because there's either stupid VAR decisions that they're taking 2 minutes to look at, the ball's out of play, goalkeepers are with time wasting, free kicks here and there. It all plays into... So when teams do this, they think they're getting away, they think they're running the clock down. No, all the referee does is press the button. He's got 2 watches. When they press stop, that's all they do. So teams are thinking they're being clever.
But now people are going to say, well, was there only 3 minutes added on Saturday in the Merseyside derby?
Because there wasn't really major things to look at.
Exactly.
There wasn't VAR
that makes sense, right? I'm with you. That's how it works, right? Hey, Ryan, that's the only reason why we're top of the league, by the way.
Mate,
Added time. That's the only reason, right? It can only be, right?
Mate, it smacks of exasperation, doesn't it? It reminds me of like City 2-3 years ago when they don't have that many vulnerabilities. You're looking for things, aren't you?
Anything to try and bring them in.
Anything. They're vulnerable on the counter. They concede late goals. They haven't quite got it. You know, once they get up to speed, they're not going to be quite at it. And I think you're kidding yourself. You really are kidding yourself. You think this Liverpool team aren't going to go from strength to strength. They're not going to regress. And if their level is 15 out of 15, that's frightening, mate. You know, so this team isn't going backwards. It's only going one way.
We move on very quickly because we play in the Carabao Cup on Tuesday night at home to Southampton. Arnie Slot's already said Alisson, Van Dijk, McAllister, Gravenberch, Salah, who have played all the games this season, aren't going to be anywhere near the starting 11. So I've worked out a rough team. Mamardashvili in goal, Frimpong, Leone, Gomez, Robertson, Jones, Endo, Wirtz, Chiesa, Ngoma, Isak as a rough guess at a starting 11. Off the top of your head, boys, we're going to see changes. Does that sound like...
That sounds,
not a million miles off. That's
no, I was surprised if that is probably spot on and maybe bringing off Isak after 60 minutes or so.
Sure, yeah.
I think that sounds right. Like you said, I would have told Salah, Ibu and Virgil and Grav and the rest to say, listen, I don't want you to see you anywhere near Anfield. Never mind on the pitch. You just go home, you just rest and put your legs up.
Go to the Ballon d'Or tonight, have a good night out, get on the beers.
Just a couple.
If that was him, he'd be on a private jet to Ibiza, wouldn't he? You'd have had...
Still is.
Mate, you'd have had 2:30 Saturday, Merseyside derby's finished. You do your last interview at 3:15, you're getting driven one of those PJs off to a nice little city break for a few days. You're rocking back up to the training ground Wednesday morning, aren't you?
No comments.
Yeah. Am I painting you in a bad light? No. Hey, mate, work hard, play hard, right, Jermaine? But on a serious note, right, I mean, look, I think we all know, obviously, Premier League, Champions League, and are obviously on a different, you know, in terms of prioritising. But I like winning the Carabao Cup. I like going to Wembley. So, look, I'm all for rotating in the early rounds, but I think we're in a position now, boys, where we have a much bigger squad, where we can rest and rotate, and we can go on all fronts. And I think getting that Carabao Cup early in the season, it can really give you that springboard to go on and win more, right?
Yeah, I feel like we got the squad to do it. And if I look at Slot's reaction to the Plymouth results, you can see how disappointed he was we went out the FA Cup so early. And obviously we got to the Carabao Cup final, didn't win it, but you could see a frustration there. So I think he's not going to sacrifice these competitions for the major two. I've always felt, I mean, you know, when I think back to the season where we were going very strong in 4 competitions, and we actually won the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and not the Premier League and the Champions League.
Yeah.
There was an air of, well, you know, the fact that we've won those two and not those two, all of that energy and all of that effort's been expended. But it's, we've only won the sort of and I'm using only in
the lesser two, if you like.
The lesser two of those two major trophies are the big ones that you're after. So I would be disappointed if we got towards the latter stages and it meant that was the case. But this team seems like it's got so many different options now, and we need that game time, especially for someone like Rio. I think of Curtis Jones as well, and giving him minutes, and he's been so impressive, I think, in recent years in the Cup. I think back to West Ham when he had that performance in the Carabao Cup third round where he bossed it at Anfield. I think he scored 2 that day, or he certainly assisted a couple. So I think they're important games for the squad overall, definitely.
Yeah, and Curtis Jones has not forgotten, man, is he? Obviously, he's a good player, but we've got real options in that midfield, don't we, now?
Yeah.
And it's almost, you forget what a good player is, when he plays. He can still be a really important option for this team.
Yeah, he's an important player, a squad player. He may not be first on the team sheet or a starter, but like I said, a squad player to come on and maybe help things out or try and change something in midfield is great for that. And I think that the Carabao Cup, look, it's great for...
How did you find it as a player when you played in it? Be honest, was it a bit of, oh, goodness me?
Do you know what? It was, I'll be totally honest, it was one of those competitions where, okay, if we win, great. If we lose, so we don't really care. We're not really bothered. It depends what team you are. If you're a team like Liverpool, City, Arsenal, you believe you can win it. But the other teams are just thinking, right, let's try and get as far as possible. But if we get out, it's not we're not going to lose sleep over it. And I think it's for Liverpool, this is good because we've got players who need to understand the way the team plays and get used to it a little bit more, get game time. So it's good in that fact. But if we was to go out against Southampton, I'll be honest, I'll be like, okay, unlucky lads.
Yeah.
Sincerely.
Yeah, move on to the Palace game because the next game, very cliche, isn't it? But Selhurst Park is one of those where it is a tough place to go and get a result. And it's a Palace team. There's no Eza. Sarr hasn't played the last couple of games. But there's 2 teams unbeaten in the Premier League this season. It's Liverpool, obviously, and it's also Crystal Palace. That's going to be... We've got Palace away, back in the Champions League next week against Galatasaray away. Another tough place to go. And then the final game for the next international break is Chelsea away. So following Southampton, 3 away games, 3 tough away games. And Palace Saturday is not going to be easy. It's always a tough, even though we get wins there, it's a tough place to go and get a result. Yeah,
surprisingly, we've got a good record against Palace, though.
Ever since that 3-3 game, it feels like we've got okay, haven't we?
I think we've won 12 of the last 13. And the 13, one of the one.
Take out that bit when I've said 3 times, this is a tough place. It's actually really easy to go there and get a result.
I'm liking your attitude towards this. I'm scared about this game.
That's what I said. Tough place to go and get.
You've got to stay optimistic.
I know, but out of all the games so far, I think this one is worrying me. Just the way Palace are, and
well-drilled, well-organised, good on the counter.
We've seen them in the Community Shield, which we ended up drawing and losing. But yes, they've lost Eze, that's a key player. But they just seem to somehow, doesn't matter who they lose, they seem to just find a way of recovering.